immanence of God in God's created universe is one of the central experience of Sanatana Dharma, Vedic life, Vedic vision of life, Vedic experience. And so, everywhere, all scriptures, Shaivite scriptures, Vaishnavite scriptures, Shakta scriptures, Vedanta, Vedanta says, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Sarvam Brahmamayam. And Vaishnavism says, Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat. Purushamevedam Sarvam Yadbhutam Metyabhavyam. Everything that has up till now been, will be in the future is nothing but a manifestation of the Supreme Being, expression of Supreme Being. See? There may be innumerable ornaments in a goldsmith's or a jeweler's shop, but they all are but one thing, gold. In the same way, they try to bring home to this truth. That means they made it plain as daylight to us that we may think we are in a world, a secular world, a material world, a physical world, but even when we are in this world, we live, move and have our being in God. Because God is present in every atom of matter. There is no place where He is not. In the house, in your place of birth, in society, alone and in the midst of a crowd, you are in God. Because God is very much there. Even before you are there, He is there. We have to become aware of this. If you want to lead a spiritual life, we must develop a spiritual vision. We cannot hold on to the same of ordinary worldly materialistic view of life and try to move in a spiritual direction. The world should stand transformed before us. The world is God. God is now here, God not in some remote region. And precisely in order to make us aware of this, we have the Purusha Sukta, we have the Rudri part, without which no worship is possible in any Shiva temple. If you see the meaning of the Rudri, the whole world is nothing but permeated by Lord Shiva. And in order to bring home to us this truth, central fact of the spiritual experience of the Sanatana Dharma, Vedic religion, in a very, very forceful way, one entire chapter of the Bhagavad Gita was devoted to explaining this truth. The 11th chapter, you are imagining there is some world apart from God. Everything in this world is nothing but God appearing as the 10 directions of the compass, God appearing east, west, south, north, God appearing in the sunrise and the sunset, God appearing in the earth, water, fire, air and ether, God appearing is the infant in the mother's arms, the little child running about, falling and getting up and running about, the little boy and the girl, the maiden, the youth, the middle-aged person, the old person, tottering with a stick, help of a stick. All is God. All is Vishnu, all is Rama, all is Krishna, all is Shiva, all is Brahman, all is the supreme reality. Everything that you see, every leaf, flower, twig, root, fruit, everything, everywhere is nothing but God appearing in so many diverse ways. One cotton becomes cloth, it becomes trouser, it becomes shirt, it becomes handkerchief, it becomes towel, it becomes bed sheet, it becomes pillowcase, it becomes napkin, it becomes everything, curtain, everything. So one supreme essence is a transcendental essence. At the same time, it permeates everything. God permeates the entire. Some mystics said, God is the warp and the woof of this fabric of this entire universe. Tana Bana karte na. God is the warp and the woof of this fabric of the entire phenomenal universe. And there can be no universe apart from God. Because of the simple reason that God is everywhere. God is infinite. You cannot have anything outside the infinite. Whatever is inside the infinite. If this truth is always kept in our mind, sometimes it's solid, hard, you have to use your eyes act. Sometimes it is neither this nor that. You cannot see it. So this is the truth. Therefore, we are very much with God. God is very much with us. Knowing this, we should spiritualize our entire life. We should spiritualize all our activities. And whatever activities we are required to do in the so-called secular worldly setup, whatever activities we are connected with God, do it in a worshipful manner. Because in the presence of God, man can only adore and worship. He cannot do anything else. In the presence of God, we even take away our shoes. Because it is sanctified ground. Okay? In the presence of God, only one thing is possible, that is worship and adoration. And when you see very clearly, I ever dwell in the presence of God, your whole attitude becomes one of worship, great reverence. And with reverence, whatever I engage myself in doing, whether it is a mental process, whether it is a verbal process, whether it is a physical process, thought, word, and deed, this also is no different from the worship I do at the altar in my own puja room. I light a candle or a lamp and I burn some incense and then offer some flower and I adore. All that I pray is no different from what I am doing in the puja room. This action also, because I am equally in the presence of God. So in this changed manner, outer form is different, but inner content is worship. Thus, through my life, I adore God. Through my actions, I worship Him. So everything that I do, every movement of mine is nothing but a perennial prayer, constantly flowing to the altar of God, all-pervading, ever-present God. To spiritualize, then what happens? Anything and everything, instead of taking you further away from God or turning your life in the opposite direction, tends to connect you with God and takes you in this direction. This is the formula given by whom? By some sentimental person, some emotional or sentimental person, or some fanciful type of it was given by one of the most highly regarded philosophers the world has ever produced. Giant intellect, tremendous philosopher, the like of whom the world has not produced, who lived 1200 years ago. See, he is called the world teacher, the original Shankara. See, no other philosopher can even approach the subtleness, the height of his philosophy, rationality, reasoning. Even Western European scholars and philosophers are stunned at his astuteness, at his rationality, and his logic, and the height of speculative philosophy. And that Shankaracharya has given us what is known as a mental worship of the Supreme Being, the all-auspicious deity. See? Siva Manasa Puja Stotsa is given. And very elaborate, very detailed, but concluding verse is the culminating, the pinnacle point of his life. He says, what is there but you? There is nothing but you. And you are the self indwelling this body temple. And your power, Shakti, that is the kinetic aspect of the Supreme Being, is nothing but that power which makes me act as a human being. See, understand, reason, feel, think. Mati. Mati means mind, the psyche, the inner psychological faculty, which is our uniqueness, human being uniqueness. You are the self indwelling this body temple. And your power, the dynamic aspect is mind. And the people who are there to serve you are the 10 pranas, 5 pranas and the 5 pranas. They are your attendants who are serving you. And Atma, Tvam, Girja, Mati, Satara, Prana, Shariram, and this is your dwelling place. And whatever is taken by the 5 senses, eye takes in a sight, ear takes in a sound, and this takes in a touch, feeling, and this takes in a smell, this takes in a taste. All these are nothing but so much worship offered unto you. Puja te Vishiyo Bhagavana. And that deep contemplation, that deep meditation upon you, what is that? My sleep every night constitutes that deep, all-absorbing contemplation of you. And whatever words are articulated and uttered by the mouth and the tongue, they are hymns and psalms of praise and glory to you. And from morning till evening, wherever I am moving, I am doing nothing but going round and round. In India, according to our cultural concept, one of the devout actions of worshipfulness, adoration, after having seen the deity, after having offered our worship or everything, then they go around the deity and prostrate themselves. That is, I worship you, adore you from all sides. Total adoration. So, and then they fall flat on the ground and prostrate. That is the ultimate. Afterwards, they go from the temple. So this is called pradakshina or parikrama. Okay? This is
Perambulation.
Yes. Perambulation, going round. So he says, all the movements of my feet, I go to my clinic, I go to my office, I go to the kitchen, I go to the garden, I go shopping, they are all nothing but they constitute that constant going round. Okay? Atma, Tvam, Girija, Mati, Sahajara, Prana, Shariram, Graham, Nidra, Pujaste, Vishyo, Bhagava, Guna, Nidra, Samadhi, Stitihi, Sanchara, Padayoho, Pradakshividi, Stotrani, Sarvagiro, Yadya Karma Karomi, Tattadakiram, Shambho, Tavara. Last culminating thing he says, O Lord, whatsoever action I engage in or do, all these constitute, O Lord, thy great adoration and worship. And this was told by not any other sentimental person. It was told by one of the greatest philosophers India and the world has produced, Shankara. Because this is the philosopher's stone. With this vision and with this attitude, you approach your life and engage in any activity. There is nothing anymore secular, nothing worldly, nothing materialistic or earthly. Everything becomes 100% spiritual, because when it touches the philosopher's stone of this vision and this attitude, everything becomes pure gold. See? There is no dross, there is no iron. So thus it is, we live, move and have our being in God. This secular world, materialistic world is only a concept to which we have become enslaved. It has to be blown up. It has to be rooted out and thrown away. Everything is spiritual. God is now here. And therefore, this idea of a division between this and that is an artificial idea created somehow or other by man's material way of thinking, and that is to be done away with. And we are now approaching the age, and they say we are approaching the Aquarian age, when there is a new consciousness unfolding itself in the human psyche all over the world. And this is the new consciousness that is required. The consciousness that there is nothing closer to us than God. There is nothing more ours than God. All others come after God. But if at all anything is there which you say, this is mine, I am yours, you are mine. This God. All others are distant. God is the nearest and the nearest. And in this vision, if we live our life, whole life will become transformed into a process of constantly connecting ourselves with God. Every action becomes a yogic action. Yoga is anything that connects us with God. And Lord Krishna hints at this and says, there is no conflict between the outer and the inner, secular and the sacred. It's all one. This is what is necessary to be beheld. And this is what this vision is should be the foundation of all your activities in this world, your life, the field of your life. And he says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsu avinashyantam yah pashyati sapashyati. Who really sees? He really sees. Who sees the presence of the deity equally present in all beings, the eternal within the non-eternal. That being really sees. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsu avinashyantam yah pashyati sapashyati. And he gives the formula, inseparably connected with God. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. He who sees me everywhere. Sarvancha mai pashyati. He who sees all things in me. Tasyaham na pranashyami. I never lose hold of it. Natame sa pranashyati. Neither does he ever lose hold of me. We never part. Between us there is no separation. One who sees me in all things. One who sees all things in me. Between us two, there is no. So you must become beings who see him in all things and see all things as being in him because he is all pervading infinite. And with this vision, if you were in the midst of so-called secular life, you are always connected with him, always one with him, always related to him, always linked up to him. That is the one thing needful in the life of today. Where we have to look to both, seemingly both, but really not two, but one. We live, move, and have our being in God. That is the truth.
Question.
How long does it take to get full realization after Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Nirvikalpa Samadhi and full realization are identical, one and the same. But only thing is, if you want this Nirvikalpa Samadhi to become your spontaneous, automatic nature, always you must inner in that, waking in Samadhi or out of Samadhi. It takes, how long it will take? It depends upon how long you will go on practicing. If you become satisfied, I have attained, you will stop the practice, then that state, full realization will never come. But in spite of having attained Nirvana Samadhi, if one goes on practicing it again and again, see, practicing the 8th anga of Ashtanga Yoga, practicing Samadhi, then to reach that coveted state which they call Sahajavastha. Sahajavastha. And once you have established yourself in Sahajavastha, Ramana Maharshi was said, then that is the fullest realization. Guru Maharaj was always in Sahajavastha. For him, neither was there Divine Life Society, nor was there Shivananda Ashram, nor was there disciples and all that. He played Ram Radhe Shyam Hari Om Sachidananda Sitaram 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 Radhe Sitaram Radhe Shyam Hari Om Sachidananda 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 Radhe Shyam Hari Om. Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent and omniscient. Thou art Sachidananda. Thou art the Indra of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptations and to control it. Free us from egoism, lust, greed, hatred, anger and jealousy. Fill our heart with divine mercy. Let us behold Thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve Thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember Thee. Let us ever sing Thy glory. Let Thy name be ever upon our lips. Let us abide in Thee forever. Let us abide in Thee forever. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu asato ma satyamaya tamaso ma yotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सनातन धर्म की जय। विश्वनाथ भगवान की जय। राम भगवान की जय। नमः पार्वती पते हर हर